Recording. Okay. All right. So a little introduction with me. So I am Brian Dadis. I teach. I just last week was my wedding day. I just posted the picture because well, it's just fresh. It's just days from now. So I just want to lighten up our first meeting by just saying I just got married last Saturday, before this Saturday. So did that make you feel happy this morning, or is irrelevant? You know,
Congratulations.
Congrats, sir.
thank you,
Congrats.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to lighten up your mood by breaking the ice by this picture of mine. You know, next is 5 things. Before that, this is my LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me, by the way, you can just uh, link, just add me up in LinkedIn. I'm always active in LinkedIn, and if you have questions, if I don't respond as fast on our Slack, I respond faster in LinkedIn. Yeah, so I'm also a data analyst and a professor. So I have many hats actually. Every day I wear different hats, and I'm also a part-time instructor, a specialist instructor here in CIIT. Okay. Then 5 things about me, just going to share to you, just to lighten up the mood. I love food. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to look up in the internet, in TikTok, all about food. Just I'm interested about food. How does food being prepared, and well, anything funny about food, funny things about food, and also into health. So if you have your interest with food, also I'm interested in improving health. So I watch YouTube videos regarding health tips, like what to eat, how to make your body more healthy, something like that. And third thing, I'm a data nerd, and I really love uh, diving deep with regards to data. So I'm an experienced data scientist. I have some research papers published, Scopus. I have plenty research regarding data science. So that's my background. I'm also a researcher. So I make it a point to publish around one paper per year at most. But sometimes I do publish 2 to 3 papers. Yeah. Then also a professor. I teach computer science courses, and that made me very more interested with regards to data science, because one major of computer science is becoming, before, when there is no data science yet, uh data science sprouted because of the degree computer science. But the data science part, where you learn data science, is actually when you take up your masters and your PhD. That's the only thing that will open your idea with regards to data, when you enroll masters in computer science and PhD in computer science. As you can see, I was also a student, and my professor is the one on my right, the foreigner, and on my left, my classmate. He is the CEO of one of the data science, I mean AI companies established here in the Philippines. So back then we were just students, no? So, and then I'm proud that some of my classmates really got or really had their startup with regards to data science. So Mr. Ralph on my left, he is the CEO of Senti. If you have heard that company, have you heard that company? Not
No.
yet. Not yet.
No
You
po,
can
not
actually
yet.
research that on research that on LinkedIn. Senti, it's spelled as Senti. Okay. So he was before he was my classmate. So this class is NLP class. So NLP is a computer science practice, and in NLP you can embed data science there. Actually, have you heard Chat GPT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, of course you have heard
Yes
that
po.
because that's the buzzword nowadays. No? So ChatGPT is also a branch of natural language processing because you are going to prompt, you're going to chat, right? So you're going to write your prompt into a form of a chat, and then it will generate a result from what you were trying to ask or to provide a prompt in ChatGPT. That's the advances of NLP if you infuse it with data science. When we're talking about data science per se, this is a field where we get our data and transform that data into becoming a program that is useful. It can be useful for a business. It can be a useful product for personal use. Let's say, for instance, a face recognizer or face recognition. You can utilize face recognition to different kinds of use cases. You can have, uh, let's say, in Snapchat, that's the first business use case of facial recognition, where you imply filter to the face. So it analyzes pixel points on the face and then tries to map the pixel points on the face by actually getting a video data from the face or probably a bunch of images. So your data there is an image. Okay, so that's part of the big data perspective. When we're talking about big data perspective, that is not only text, that's not only transactional data, that's not only uh, when I say transactional data, it is a data that is gathered from transactions, let's say in a bank, in an e-commerce application. That's not only when we're talking about big data. Big data it has 5 V's, but before that, just a simple explanation of big data. Big data is multimodal. So it can be text, it can be video, it can be audio, it can be images. So it's going to pile up in megabytes, in terabytes, especially videos and images. When you gather those data from different kinds of sources. For instance, social media. Social media is like a multimodal application where you can post your images, videos, and all those stuff. Maybe you're asking yourself, what's the difference of a data analyst and a data scientist? In a bigger umbrella spectrum of understanding these two types of people, in United States, it's the same thing. When you're practicing data analysis, you're also into data science. So meaning when we're talking about data science, it's any person who is actually handling data. It can be gathering data, it can be cleaning the data, it can be predicting afterwards. After getting the data, you're trying to predict an outcome from the data. They're all in the umbrella of data science. But if you started with data analysis, it doesn't mean you are a data scientist. A data scientist has an idea of programming, not only understanding the data, or not only using some kinds of tools such as Excel, PowerPoint, Power BI, Google Sheets. That's not only the tools that are being used by data scientists. Data scientists use some prehistoric applications such as Weka. That's the thing that we were using before when Python is not popular. R was the next one. And also one of the easiest tool is RapidMiner. But nowadays, for ML ops or for deploying your machine learning application, many people are using Python as a programming stack that they are using in developing data science projects. So that's also the software that we're going to use in this class. May I ask you, do you have any experience with Python programming language?
None, sir.
None.
None, sir.
None, sir. None.
Not yet.
Meron.
So how many are having zero experience with Python? Can you type it on? Okay. At first, Python is a very daunting software. So many of you, I assume that you're all working
Yes, sir.
not as a programmer, right?
Yes po.
Yes.
So
Pero
what are the tools? Okay.
consider ba yung sa nag-handle ka ng data sa Excel?
Yeah, sure, I can accept that. Well, when you say you handle data in Excel, more or less, you are handling small data,
Yes,
but
sir.
still, it can be considered. But when you are handling data that are more than 1 million, Excel is not enough, right? It's going to crash your
Yeah.
Excel
Yes, sir.
program. So
Yes.
sir.
you're going to move on to a different, much more powerful tool that can actually handle big amounts of data, such as Power BI or Python. What good thing about Python is that it can actually it doesn't have a buffer. So if your data is around what more than 1 million, probably you are on a spectrum of big data. How can your data be so very big? Your data can be very big if and only if you are gathering your data from social media and then you're gathering this data almost every day. So it's going to pile up. And if your data is images and also text, that's going to pile up. But most of the time, for easy examples, we're mostly getting data in a range of 0. Probably that's not a good start of getting data. Around 1,000 initial or the minimum specification of your data set, around 1,000 up to 100,000. So, any one of you, let me just, before we go on to our proper lecture, what's the next slide? let me hear 5 things about you. Can you just tell something about yourself so I get to know you before we go on to our proper lecture? It can be, if you want to speak in Tagalog, it's okay. Fine for me. Sometimes I do speak also in Tagalog. Uh, is there a volunteer?
Ako na lang, Ryan.
Okay, sure. Can you open your camera? You're the first penguin, by the way. Yeah. All right.
Well, student naman ako ni Bayan kasi doon sa isang class niya. More on sa I'm currently working as a data analytics lead. So I joined this class to learn more on advanced Python as well, then doing other projects currently sa kasi role ko medyo more on Power BI. I just want to improve my skills, then yun. Congratulations, Bayan.
Thank you, thank you.
Mm.
So, 5 things about yourself. Ayun, so Power BI, data analyst lead.
Mm.
Ano pa ba? Like
Student mo.
favorite food? Student, okay. Former, other student from the other class.
Mm.
Then,
Then tempura, favorite food.
tempura is your favorite food. Ayan. Let's lighten up, And then, ano pa, last.
Ano pa ba? I just got recently married in last year.
Ayun, recently married. So, that is the prettiest thing that will happen to everyone. Your first few months of marriage or first few days of marriage.
Kaya first few weeks.
First few weeks, yeah.
Enjoy.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. The second penguin. I hope you got courage after the first penguin.
Ako na po, sir.
All right, sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christian Bianlagmay. I'm currently working at an NGO research assistant, mostly dwelling on Excel.
Okay.
But since we have lots of archived data that they want me to use. I mean, my work is mostly on legislative.
Okay.
We help a private sector on the House of Representatives and the Senate. So we need lots of data for that. As for 5 things about me, I love my hobby, Magic the Gathering and MMORPGs.
All right.
Actually, I just wanted to start as a game developer.
Mhm.
Then the programming language is C#, so I was trying to learn C#. But my friends have been asking me to learn Python instead since it's more advanced now. So I'm here now. And it's also it will
Good to
be
hear
also
that.
be used in work. As for
Mhm.
food, I love pasta, especially bolognese. So yeah.
Okay. That's all.
That's all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Christian. Next one.
Ako na lang po next.
Sige po.
Hello po, good morning. So I'm Shiza. I'm actually working at CIIT for 6 years now, but a business development officer din po ako. Pero I'm handling college and senior high school admission. So nandito po ako sa office together with Sir Justine. Wala po akong programming language. Zero background at all. More on
Okay.
ang knowledge ko po presently is more on automating the process. So we're using Airtable, So yung mga ganong systems. So more on that po. Nag-try po kami before ng Power BI, mga pre-pandemic, pero hindi ko na siya matandaan. So wala na po akong matandaan sa pinag-aralan
yeah.
namin doon. Opo. Ano pa ba?
Yes.
Mahilig po ako mag-aral kaya ayun, talagang nag-enroll din ako sa madaming program before like digital marketing and all. Tapos, yun lang po so
Okay.
far.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I like that, no? So, meron akong naalala dun sa shinare ni Miss
Shisha.
Isha, no?
Opo.
Yung sabi niya nakalimutan niya yung Power BI. So, yung ano doon, yung naalala ko doon na phrase is, what you don't practice, you forget. No? So,
Yes.
that's the same. That is actually true to all IT stuff,
Mm-mm.
even mathematics pala. Because those are the things that are common. So, mathematics is practice-based. Computer programming is practice-based. And also, the tools that are related to IT are all practice-based. One good thing about Excel, that's why we're not forgetting Excel, is that we're doing this application almost in every aspect of our job. Probably some personal, ano nga, 'di ba? Personal things ginagamit natin Excel. Sino ba dito yung katulad ko na gumagamit ng Excel sa pang-araw-araw? Like for example,
Same.
budgeting.
Ako rin po.
Ako po.
That's why hindi natin nakakalimutan yung Excel, no? And that's
Yes.
also the thing, that's the common thing why many people are transferring to data. That's the common ground. People can understand Excel. Yeah, that's the reason why people are saying, is it part of data science when you're doing Excel? Yeah, that's part of data science. That's the common ground. But that's not all of it. Yeah, I like that yung last. Next po, sino kaya?
Ako na lang po.
Sige, sige.
Hi everyone, I'm Willie, but you can just call me Will. So I am an accounting graduate, but currently I am working as an IT operations analyst, systems integrity and vulnerability management for Manulife Data Services. So my knowledge regarding data, we're using Power BI to process data and also using Excel to doing some automation using macro VBA. And so nag-start yung journey ko sa technology when I was a working student pa noong 2020. So then ako nag-start as ma-involved sa technology, pero since accounting student nga ako before, so I wanted to learn more about technology and data analysis. So I enrolled last 2 years ago sa data science online sa IBM. But na-stop ako, isang course lang yung natapos ko, like yung introduction. And then yan, nagbabrowse lang ako sa FB and then nakita ko yung CIIT. That's why I enrolled here sa data science specialist. Then
Okay.
other thing about me is I'm into arts and I also have a dog, a pug, and his name is Jacob.
Wow. Cute, cute. That all? Is that all?
Yep, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. What I like about what you said is that you like technology. Of course, curiosity makes us really like technology because of the advances happening nowadays. It's actually threatening at the same time exciting because AI is really booming right nowadays. Uh, Google releases their own AI. OpenAI, a startup company that shook everyone with their product, which is ChatGPT. And then Microsoft is backing them up. And then there are lots of actually AI that are more powerful than on the mainstream that we don't know yet. They're just hidden from us. No, the only mainstream that we know that Google has Palm and OpenAI and Microsoft has GPT. But there are a lot of AIs that are actually lurking on the background that we don't know yet. So I like what you've said there around you're interested in technology. There are a lot of things, and one of technology's most popular side is data, and that started on the year 2016 because before that we are only focusing on algorithms, and then 2016, the advent of data, more people are talking about data, but not everyone is an expert. Nowadays, there are more people that are expert in data. And some people, because of that, are getting interested in data because there are a lot of opportunities. And that started to boom right at the first strike of the pandemic, where everybody is at home, and then some people got laid off on the start of the pandemic, and then eventually that made a lot of people curious if they can earn money from online or remote jobs. And that's the reason why there are a lot of people who are actually working or working from home. Just like me, I'm also a data analyst. No? I work from home. I have a flexible schedule with regards to data analysis. So thank you. Next one. Next person.
I can go next po.
Hello. Okay, sige.
So, hi everyone. So, my name is Ella and I'm
Don't have a
actually...
camera, by the way.
Okay. Sorry, I'm using my phone because I cannot sign in
Sure.
laptop.
I just
So,
wanted
yeah.
to initially see your faces first.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me?
I see you. Yes.
Okay.
Clear. It's clear.
So, yeah. So, I'm currently working now in Home Credit Philippines. So, actually, tatlo kami dito. So, na-encourage ko yung dalawa kong kasama sa work na enroll din dito. And it's actually paid by our company for this training.
Good.
And we are a collections analyst. Before we started as a supervisor in Home Credit. And then we use Udemy only to gather information and data. We are actually using SQL to backtrack everything in our database. So now we ask permission to Home Credit for us to able to learn more. That's why we are here for the Python training.
Sure.
So yeah, we also use other application like Tableau, Power BI, SQL, but not technically for this Python. We actually wanted to learn about this one because on the scheduling part, it's really hard for us because if we are just using now the Excel.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ella. So a short story regarding this one. We are actually I am talking with a lot of data professionals. When I ask them, as a data analyst, we are not really focusing on data analysis here. No, we are focusing on data science. It's a different perspective. I believe many of you are data analysts, but that's a good start. When we're talking about data science, it's a different flavor of data and data analysis. It's more of like an algorithm is going to help you to understand the data. That's the difference. You will be touching an algorithm. You will be embracing a computer science concept. And when you infuse that with the data, you are going to generate a prediction or a classification, a more or less like a program. So learning Python can open up different opportunities with regards to the data as a profession. Me, I started with Python and Excel. I did not started with Power BI. I did not. I have an idea with SQL because I am an IT graduate, a computer science graduate. But before we use SQL not for data analysis, but for developing a system. So more or less, I can still understand the syntax of SQL. That's one plus. That's one good thing about having a background of IT before diving into data analysis, data science. So having said that, Python, when you learn Python, it will open opportunities. Python is a general purpose programming language. Most of the time, it is being used for data science and data analysis as well, or data exploration or exploratory data analysis. So sometimes the opportunity that I got from Python is not really working using it for data science, but using Python to gather data. So I learned that because I have an idea with regards to Python. So that's why being a data analyst, I can also gather data using Python. In a sense that it's automated. I'm just going to play the program, and then afterwards, it will gather me a bunch of data for me to analyze. That's one good thing about learning Python, by the way. Next one.
Ako na po, sir.
Sige.
Hi, good morning. My name is Reggie. I'm currently working on Tugo as energy efficiency analyst. So, ang mostly nawakan kong data is consumption of vessel tsaka mga engine parameters ng buong fleet ng Tugo. So, pumasok ako sa data science to learn more on paano mag-gather ng data, mag-cleaning, tapos paano siya i-visualize ng maayos. So in-encourage lang ako ng girlfriend ko, actually kasama ko sa dito. Kasi dapat sa course ako ng Power BI, yun sana ang hinahanap ko. Tsaka more on expertise on Excel. So na-encourage ako dito sa data science pumasok kasi parang fundamental siya ng data. So yun.
I like what you've said earlier, yung dun sa part nung sinabi mo nung una sa work mo. Yung ano ba yun?
Kasi sir, ang hawak ko is yung mga fuel consumption ng vessel. So ang gusto ng boss ko is paano ko siya i-visualize into data.
fuel consumption,
Yes, sir.
and what's the what will happen after you get the fuel consumption of what is this vehicles?
Barko po.
Ah,
So kapag nag-gather ko sir yung mga fuel consumption, ang balak namin gawin is alamin kung saan kami pwedeng maka-save ng fuel kasi malaki ang expenses sa fuel ng barko eh. So nag-gather kami ng data from different speed of vessel tsaka other factors affecting ng fuel consumption.
okay. Actually, you can use that in data science. Like you're going to predict if the boat, the ship is efficient. You're going to get the parameters. The same thing that you are actually doing on your work. In the sense that it's more like you program it. You get the features first. Let's say you're getting the model of the ship. 19 something. May ganun, 'di ba? Yung mga kung ilang years na yung ship.
Yes sir, yung
Tapos
age
yung
niya
engine,
tapos
kinukuha niyo yan, 'di
engine
ba? Yung mga
engine
information
parameters
na yan.
opo. Specs.
Yes. And then at the end of the day, some expert will say this ship will consume more than the brand new ship.
Yes sir.
So,
Yung tinitingnan namin if efficient pa ba tong gantong edad na barko.
Oo. Tapos i-phase out nyo yun, di ba?
Yes.
What
Tama
if you use data science to automate that? Pagka in-encode nyo yun doon, yung program mo na yung magsasabi kung this will predict the amount of the fuel consumption and everything based on the previous data.
Yes sir, exactly po. Ganun po yung gusto namin
Ganun yung ma-apply niyo yun, yeah. So for me, that's data science. Ganun yung mangyayari actually. No? So, nirelate
sir.
ko lang dun sa sinabi mo kanina na it can be applied in data science. That's the use case scenario.
Yes sir.
That's
Hopefully
what
yung
you said
Python is mapa-automate namin yung process kasi mostly
Sure.
manual eh. Mostly sa human interaction eh. Manual talaga. So gusto
Manual,
namin
oh, kasi
i-automate.
meron kayong hinahire na expert kayo for that. So,
Yes, sir.
I remember the project of my classmate. Ang kanya naman is yung tobacco grading. Tobacco grading. Using computer vision, he took the images of different kinds of tobacco and then he let those images be annotated by experts. And that's the data. Now, the data was fed to a machine learning algorithm. And instead of the expert person, the machine predicted the tobacco grade. Parang ganon. So, isa lang yung scenario. So, I just related with your scenario. So, I guess if that's your work, that's your goal, this course is going to help you with that. Yeah. So, thank you, Reggie.
Thank you, sir.
I hope that is also a good example to everyone. What Reggie and I discussed with the data science is actually getting the data and putting it on a machine, and the machine will learn, and the machine will help you automate the classification, the prediction of that use case. Yeah. Next.
Hello, good morning.
Sure.
This is
Who is
Ryan.
this?
Ryan
Do
Parco.
you have your camera? Do you have your camera?
For now, wala po. Naka-desktop po
Okay,
kasi
sige lang.
Okay.
Sige lang.
And so, I'm a pension analyst at Willis Towers Watson. Actually, I don't know anything about data science, so I only use Excel sa office. And same with Sir Reggie, my boss actually asked me to learn SQL and Power BI. So nag-Google ako and I bumped into this data science. Then ayun, in-enroll ko na yung sarili ko.
Okay.
Walang alam sa programming and anything. Actually, my hobby is video editing. I play bass guitar, photography, music editing. So, yun, malayo talaga sa ganitong scene about
Okay.
data. Yun. So, yun, baby pa ako dito sa data analytics.
Yeah, I will make it really, really interesting to everyone. Don't worry. If you're a total beginner, that's fine. Your only prerequisite here is just know what is a table. At least you know what a table looks like and what Excel looks like. I think that's where I started as well. When I plunged in data analysis, data science, the only prerequisite I have is my analytical thinking skills and the experience I have with Excel. If you already have that, that's going to work perfectly fine. Yeah, I assure you. So next is, do we have any more?
Hi, good morning. Ako na lang po.
Last na ba to? Diba?
Ayan.
Okay.
At malinaw po yung audio.
Sure, yeah.
So hi, I'm Romel. I currently work as a data analyst in an IT company. Ang hinahawakan ko naman na data is more on merchandiser inventory data. Yung mga data pumapasok sa system namin and then I convert it to report tapos yun yung sinasubmit namin sa client. Meron kaming mga automation na ginagawa, may mga software kami na na pina-develop sa mga ITs namin, and then ako naman ang usually na ginagamit ko is SQL and Excel. Currently, I think I'm on a data analyst level, and ayun, I joined this course para I can upskill to what I think to dive in more in data science, kasi yun din yung yun din yung gusto kong field na pasukin talaga. So hopefully this will help me build a solid foundation. Yun nga yung sa Python to start in data science po.
Okay, good. Thank you, Romel. Next.
Hello.
Yes. Kindly raise your hand if you still don't have not yet recited. Should I say recitation? Okay, two more. So who's next? Last two, no? Then afterwards, we take a break. After the last two, we take a break around 15 minutes, and then we start with the initial introduction about data science.
Hello.
Hi, I4 pa.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. This
Sorry, sir. This is Aileen.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Sira yung yung
Sure.
microphone sa earphones ko. Can you hear me po?
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aileen Ang, or Ayen for short. I'm a fraud, MIS, and analytics officer in a bank. But before this job, I used to be part of a strategy team in another bank, and we used to do SAS coding. So medyo nami-miss ko yung coding, kaya nag-join ako dito sa course na to.
Okay.
And well, yeah. Anyway, so other things about me. I used to be a college instructor teaching math. And outside of data and math, I like dancing. So we also nag-join ako ng mga dance classes when I have time. And lastly, I have 7 dogs. So Yon, so medyo chaos sa house. Yun lang. Thank you.
7 dogs.
Thank
That's cute.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, right. So that's you miss coding, right? So we will be having a lot of coding here. But don't worry for the people who are not really uh into coding. I'm going to make it more simpler. So teka lang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pa ba yung hindi pa nakakapag-share? Right? Tama ba? 7 pa. Hello?
Yes, sir. Mukhang marami pa.
Okay, so anyway, stop ko na siya yung sharing muna natin because I think I've heard a lot. And do you agree that parang you are all the same? You are all working, and the reason why you enrolled in this class is that you are really wanting to learn data science per se. No, so this is a different flavor. If you are into data analysis, data science is what I can say is the more nerdy stuff. Na. So, but don't worry, we will be looking with business cases as well. So it is technical in a way, but if you've learned the foundations of this technicality, all I can say is that you will going to be really valuable in the industry. Okay, so let's have a short break around 15 minutes, and then we will start our introduction to data science. So is Mr. Okay, wala siya. Dito ba siya? Wala. Let's just have ano ba maganda? 15 minutes or 5 minutes lang? Let's just have 5 minutes na lang wala. Sure, let's have 5 minutes. So I'm going to turn off my camera for 5 minutes, and you can have your short water break, bathroom break, etc. So see you again after 5 minutes. Okay, hello. Can you hear me? Clear? Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Sure,
sir.
sure.
Oh.
Thanks. So this is the first slide on our after the Slack link. Ito yung slide natin susunod. So you can just simply click it here and then follow with me. So this is coming from a book. We're going to use a book. And then let me just show it to you. Oh, where's that? Okay. So this is the slide that we're going to view. All right. So data science concepts and practice. So in this slide, they are using the technology RapidMiner, but in our end, we are going to use Python instead of RapidMiner. RapidMiner is still being practiced for some parts if you're learning very, very elementary data science. So actually learning Python with data science is actually in the middle. It's not anymore elementary. It's on the middle. Okay. As part of our introduction, I'm going to discuss what encompasses a data science concept. So data science is part of artificial intelligence and also part of machine learning. So in data science, as you can see here on this slide, can I zoom? Okay, here. In this part of data science, there is no machine learning yet or artificial intelligence, but the initial part of data science is data preparation. You prepare your data. It can be from a source. A source can be from a company. A source can be from a survey. A source can be from a machine. Let's say a camera, a sensor, an actuator. So your data can be numbers or can be nominal data or in a form of words. So this can be a word or this can be a number. Yeah, so that is basically data preparation. There is also sometimes noise in the data. When we say noise in the data, those are data that are irrelevant. And sometimes data has missing values. Okay, so also data science has some kind of statistics. If you have background in engineering, that's going to help. That's why more career shifters of an engineering background are embracing data science as their next career if they don't want to pursue their engineering career. I've heard a lot of engineering uh, professionals that are shifting into data because maybe because of the opportunity, the opportunity that data is giving out in the market. Also, there is process mining. So when you mine the data, there are sequential steps. There is also visualization. Maybe some part of your data journey, that's why you are curious of enrolling in this course, is that you have already witnessed a visualization graph, or you have tried to use a bar chart. So visualization actually is the language of data scientists, because data can only be represented by graph or visualization in a very effective way. That's the only thing. That's why visualization is important. Let's say you wanted to understand the most effective product that you are selling, you're going to probably use a bar chart to rank all of the products that you are selling. And you're going to you are going to have a range of sales. Yeah, so bar graph. And then if you're going to check if your company is working or doing good with regards to profit, you can also use visualization, a line chart. So part of data science is also experimentation. That's why it's called science. In science, if you're going to reminisce your science teacher probably in your chemistry class, there is what we call hypothesis testing. In data science, there is also what we call hypothesis testing, and that also relates to statistics. So there is something that's, let's say, parang ganito yung sinasabi nating hypothesis testing. Some other people say that in Baguio, morning is the coldest. And then sometimes some people say that in Baguio, evening is the coldest. So you're going to formulate an hypothesis. Let's say your hypothesis that there is no your null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between the coldness of morning and evening in Baguio, right? Then your alternative hypothesis will be there is a significant difference. It's colder in the evening because there's no sunset. I mean, there's no the sun, because the sun already sets. That's why it's parang ganun, ano? So in data science, there is also hypothesis testing. Now, when we are moving to the left side of the spectrum, there are algorithms. So you can see algorithms support vector machines, KNN, Bayesian learning, decision trees, deep learning. They are algorithms. Algorithms that are also inside artificial intelligence. However, in artificial intelligence, the data can not only be in a form of transactional data. Data can also be coming from sensors. So pag nanggagaling ang data natin sa mga sensors, nagiging na siyang part ng artificial intelligence. For instance, yung kotse, meron yung tinatawag na proximity sensor. Alam nyo ba yung proximity sensor ng kotse?
Yes, sir. Sa parking.
Yes, pag meron ka nun sa likod ng kotse mo, pag malapit ka na sa wall, tutunog yun. Tit, 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 tit. Tutunog siya. Yung sensor na yon, wala pa siyang AI. It's just a program na pagka nagping siya ng sound waves, pag mas mabilis siyang bumalik, kasi tumama siya sa wall, di ba? Nagping siya, tapos bumalik sa kanya yung signal. More or less, may malapit ka ng wall na pagbanggaan. So yung proximity sensor na yon, nagsimula yon sa mga artificial intelligence. Na hanggang sa camera. Camera na ngayon ang ginagamit. Katulad ng computer vision na field ng data science. Ang computer vision, ginagamit siya to understand, yung AI, ginagamit niya yung computer vision to understand the scenario. Let's say, sabihin mo doon, using this, or you are prompting an image, tas sasabihin ng AI, may aso dyan, may bote dyan, ganon, no? Then also, linguistics, or yung pagtatransform ng natural language para maintindihan ng computer. Ayan, yung vision, camera na yung ginagamit. Yung sensors, pwede yan kasing yung mga ina-attach sa katawan, biometric sensor, pwede din yan. Mata, yung, meron ba ngayon, may retina ba? Face lang, no? May retina. Sa phone natin, wala pa namang retina, no? So, fingerprint pa lang at saka face. Yun yung ginagamit natin sa phone. Pero may retina din sa mga high advanced lock systems. Then, robotics. So, part yan ng artificial intelligence, but hindi lahat ng artificial intelligence ay data science. So, wag nating i-confuse yun na lahat ng data science is artificial intelligence. No, because artificial intelligence is a different body of knowledge. But data science can have artificial intelligence. Nakuha ba yun? Ang artificial intelligence ay ang iba siyang body of knowledge. Ang ang data science, iba din siya na body of knowledge. Kasi in artificial intelligence, hindi mo kailangan minsan ng data. Pwede siyang CRUD programming lang. Pure programming lang siya. Meron din kasing rule-based style sa artificial intelligence. Hindi lahat ng data science is artificial intelligence. Kaya nga para meron tayo ditong Venn diagram. Kung mapapansin ninyo, ang data science hindi din siya magiging kompleto kung walang machine learning. So, ang commonality ng data science at ng artificial intelligence is machine learning. Nakuha po ba yun?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, tandaan natin, ang data science hindi siya artificial intelligence. They are just having a commonality with regards to machine learning. Ang artificial intelligence, meron siyang machine learning. Ang data science, meron siyang machine learning. So, ang data science tuloy, nagkakaroon ng artificial intelligence flavor kahit hindi niya kailangan. I hope that's not going to confuse you. But that's the totality of the idea with regards to data science. We are using algorithms. And yung algorithms na yun yung ginagamit for machine learning. So what happens in the data science projects is that we provide an input, no? But the usual model is that when you are a programmer, you get the input to the program and the program provides an output. While in machine learning, you provide the input and you provide the output. Now the machine learning provides the program. So in data science, yun yung sinabi ko nung unang-una, if you are keen to listening to every word that I say, ang data science, nagpo-produce siya ng program. No? Instead na mag-program tayo ng if-else statements, ng structural, procedural, we're just going to utilize data and the algorithm that's already there. And then it's going to provide us a program that we can use to a business case. Ganun siya, no? So, tingnan ninyong mabuti. Yung taas na diagram is the conventional programmer, and then a data science is yung nasa baba. Ito yung work na ginagawa ng data scientist. You provide the input and the output. So this is also known as supervised machine learning. You provide the input and then you provide the output. In other words, you provide the training data and then you provide the answer of the training data or the target answers. Okay? So afterwards, it is being learned from the machine and then it will have a model or of a program. So
parang-
usually, yes.
Sorry po. Ella po here. So parang yung input and yung nasa program po yung nasa taas. It looks like parang restoration of information. And dito naman po you're building a program po dito sa baba.
Yes, but not exactly restoration yung ano. For example, bigyan ko kayo ng scenario. Yung sa taas is that meron kang ginagamit na Excel. Ang ini-input mo sa Excel is name, yung personal information mo, name, birthday, last name, address. Pinapasok mo siya sa program. Yung program, i-output niya yung display as a, let's say, your biodata. So, usually ganun yung mga flow ng programs natin. You provide input and then the program processes it and provides an output for us. Sa machine learning, meron kang data set. So, yun yung input and output mo. Actually, wala kang idea sa program na magagawa mo and ipapasok mo siya sa isang machine learning, then makakapag-produce ka ng program na magagamit mo na parang katulad nung dun sa taas. I hope hindi ka naguluhan doon. Pero ganun siya, no? Siguro I believe mas maintindihan niyo to when we do this as a practice. So, ibang-iba siya sa conventional na ginagawa natin. Let's say, yung Google Forms, pinasok mo sa kanya yung ano, yung mga inputs mo. Tapos yung Google Forms, ano siya, exam pala siya. 'Di ba yung program siya na yung nagche-check? And then ang makikita mo sa output ng Google Forms is yung correct answers mo. So that's the normal thing that is happening in a lot of programs. Sa machine learning, iba. Hinahayaan mo siyang matuto dun sa pinrovide mong sagot. Hindi mo dinideclare sa kanya kung ano yung gagawin niya. Siya na yung bahalang malaman kung ano yung tamang sagot based dun sa pattern. Kaya siya may parang halong AI. Kaya siya tinawag na machine learning. Natututo siya dun sa, parang binigyan mo lang siya ng, ito, aralin mo to, 1 to 10. Tapos sa 1 to 10, ito yung sagot. Okay, it can be 1 to 10 or it can be 1 to 100, 1 to 1 million. Ayan, tapos ipoprovide mo yung sagot. Tapos, matututo na siya. Let's say, ang ika-classify mo, apple versus oranges. O kaya yung katulad kay Reggie kanina, good sheep and bad sheep. Yung good sheep, yun yung mga nagko-consume ng less fuel. ipipredict mo ngayon yon. Tapos yung bad ship, sila yung mga inefficient ships that are consuming more fuel. So probably they will only last 2 more years na lang to our production. Tapos face out na natin kasi hindi na sila efficient. Yeah, something like that. Ano? But I hope you understand that concept. Then, the certain program or model of the program can be used to do some kind of like predictions. And then there are different kinds of data science. You can do regression, you can do clustering, you can do classification, you can do feature selection, text mining, time series forecasting, deep learning, recommendation engines, anomaly detection, association analysis. So let me just share to you some short stories with regards to this. Yung regression analysis, pwede natin yan gamitin when we're trying to provide or to predict house prices or condo prices. Ganyan. O kaya fuel, what is the average or the regression answer if we're trying to buy something like a property, parang ganun. So regression. Classification is more of like understanding, let's say, you are letting the machine try to understand if this is an apple or this is an orange or if this is a cat or a dog, or sometimes emotion recognition. Using facial expression, you're trying to analyze if the person is happy, sad, and so on. So why do you want to understand the emotion of the person? Maybe because you wanted to relate that to the productivity of the person. If the person is sad, probably most of the time, the outcome of productivity is going to be bad if the person is sad. Something like that. So my experiments before is in facial recognition. So I try to study more about emotions when different facial expressions are being executed from different persons. They provide a hint of emotion. Yeah, something like that. Feature selection is an advanced part of data science where you're trying to narrow down the attributes that you're going to use in your analysis. Text mining is a use case where you try to provide the sentiments of a certain survey so that you understand if the survey is good or bad. So text mining is the appropriate solution or data science solution for that. Time series forecasting is a simple data science solution of historical data. If you have a historical data of, let's say, sales, time series analysis is going to show to you if there is seasonal trends. If there is seasonal trends, you're going to predict your next sale, something like that. You're going to forecast your next sale. Deep learning is a more complex data science problem because in deep learning, these are the problems that are focused on multimodal approaches. So you're talking about text, images, audio in one. You might be using deep learning. But deep learning can also be used in simple problems. But there are some caveats. Like I have a story before. One European bank, they use deep learning to determine if the person has good credit or bad credit. However, before, because deep learning is very, very new, there are few researches that are uh, trying to interpret the results of deep learning. So, meaning if you are trying to interpret, you cannot interpret it efficiently before. Many people will ask questions, especially that happened on that bank. A very rich person was rejected. And then when the rich person asked the bank, what happened? Why did you reject me? I have a good credit. Because our deep learning algorithm told us that you are a risk in our in our bank. So the person asked them to provide a interpretation of that result, and they don't know how to do that at the moment. So meaning deep learning can also be used in simple solutions, simple problems rather, like good credit or bad credit, risk analysis. But if you don't know how to interpret it, because deep learning is very complex, that's the most hardest part of the data science spectrum, deep learning. Before you master deep learning, you should master first regression, classification, and clustering. If you don't know that basic fundamentals, regression, clustering, and classification, you might be having problems learning deep learning, because deep learning is what they say, very deep. Okay, recommendation engines such as like on Netflix, it tries to recommend not all of the videos to you, but the videos that are popular on your state, on your country. Anomaly detection. Data science has a lot of usage, especially in machine automation, anomaly detection. In spaceships, data science is being used to detect anomalies on a spaceship, because in space, you used to have only few people allowed to be in the spaceship. So if you have a few people on the spaceship, if there will be a problem on the spaceship, it will be very tedious if it is not being prevented before it crashes. Therefore, anomaly detection is being used, part of data science, to predict an upcoming anomaly before everything crashes. And then there is association analysis. Association analysis is for sales purposes, for business, like for instance, in a market basket analysis, you are trying to understand what products are associated with each other. Have you ever wondered when you go inside the a mall or a convenience store, ang nangyayari is nagtataka kayo bakit yung diaper katabi siya ng beer. Minsan may mga products na magkakatabi na parang it doesn't make sense. Like yung diaper at saka beer. They only found out that many husbands are buying in the market, and usually there is a huge sale on diaper and associated with the diapers, with beer and diapers. Ganun siya, no? So those are the different scenarios. So the easiest, what is the easiest, by the way, if you're going to ask me, what is the easiest data science that you can do as a beginner? What do you think, by the way, everyone?
Clustering or classification.
Yeah. If you're going to ask me, parang ano yan parang nag-aaral magluto. Ano kaya yung lulutuin kong una na madali?
For me, text mining.
Okay. So may nagsabi ng text mining.
Regression sure. Kasi ginagawa ko na siya ngayon.
Regression. Okay. So yung mga types ng data science na to, ihahalin tulad ko siya sa pagkain. Hindi dahil malapit na magtanghalian, para lang madali natin maintindihan. Para sa akin, ang regression, para siyang nilaga. Ang nilaga kasi madali lang. Lalagyan mo lang siya ng tubig, tsaka yung ilalaga mo lang siya, wala ka nang hahalu-haluin pa, no? So sobrang sa pagluluto, kung beginner ka magluto, ang dapat mong aralin lahat ng nilaga. Nilagang baka, nilagang So in short, yun yung regression. Madali siya. Siya ang pinakamadali sa lahat. Ang regression. Of course, may complex version ng regression. Multi-regression. Multi-regression yung yung pinaka-complex part niya. Pero yung pinaka-easiest part niya is yung sa statistics, yung linear regression. Kaya sabi nung iba, data science is just statistics. No, it's not really like that. But it started with statistics, and then there are scientists that provided more complex algorithms because there are different kinds of problems. So if the problem is about regression, therefore you're going to use regression techniques. If the problem is classification, you're going to do classification techniques. Yung susunod na madali is classification. Yung pangatlong madali is clustering. Tapos, dun lang kayo magfo-focus. As a beginner, dun lang kayo magfo-focus. Regression, classification, clustering. Pagka master na ninyo yung tatlong ito, pwede na kayong mag-text mining, association analysis, time series forecasting, recommendation, feature selection, anomaly detection, and last, deep learning. Pero kailangan muna nating masterin itong tatlo. Regression, classification, and clustering. Ang regression, usually continuous numbers yan. Ang classification is categorical in nature. Let's say, yes or no. Do you have a diabetes? Yes or no. Do you have breast cancer? Yes or no. Do you have lung cancer? Yes or no? Ano ba yung ano pa ba yung classification na madami? Is this Iris setosa? This Iris versicolor? Iris virginica? Meaning, what kind of flower are you from the tree? So that's classification. In regression problems, this is more of like, what is the house price this year? Can you provide me the house price this year? Something like that. So that's our regression analysis. Clustering is different. Let's say in clustering, you're trying to know the association of different groups in the data without prior knowledge. So that's clustering. Hindi mo alam kung ano yung mga magkakasama. Bigyan ko kayo ng simple example. Sa animal kingdom, ang animal kingdom, may idea tayo kung ito ay mammal, ito ay bird, ito ay fish. Pero hindi natin alam na may mga mammal pala na fish din. Right? So, hindi natin alam yun kung sino yung mga yun. We can use clustering. Pag sa mga ano naman, sa mga clients natin, we can do clustering like sino ba doon ang potential na bumibili talaga. Base sa ginawa namin yung experiment ng clustering before sa sa data namin na kinuha namin yung data ng mga bumibisita sa isang showroom. So it can be a showroom that are selling jewelries or selling cars. Siyempre, pag bibili ka ng car, bibili ka ng jewelry. Merong mga high-priced items, may mga low-priced items. So, tinetake down notes namin yung behavior nila sa showroom. Usually, may mga tao na tinatawag natin na window shopping. 'Di ba? May mga ganun. So, using clustering, because you gather the behavior of the people inside the showroom, you can cluster them. Kung sino ba yung mga window shoppers, sino ba yung mga potential na bibili. So yung algorithm yung bahalang mag-cluster nun. So you don't need to visualize it to understand. The algorithm will tell to you that they are associated. So those are the use cases of this one. Okay, so these are just explanations, examples. For the classification, predict a data point belongs to the one one of predefined classes. The prediction will be based on learning from known data set. So we can use decision trees for classification task. We can use also neural networks. Bayesian models are probability based. Induction rules rather, k nearest neighbor. All right. For regression, we have linear regression. We have also logistic regression. So this is predicting unemployment rate. So this is the use case, no? So if you're going to think of a project, probably this can help you. Okay. Anomaly detection. Ayan. Predict if data point is an outlier compared to the other data points in the data set. So this is having distance-based, density-based LOF. So this is more of like fraud transaction detection in a credit card. Okay. Let me just pause for a short minute. Meron lang ako ayusin. Saglit lang po. May i-check lang ako. Okay, I'm back. Thank you. So time series, clustering. Let's just focus on the examples. So this is just sales forecasting production for virtually any growth phenomena that needs to be extrapolated. So that's time series. Yeah, so first and foremost, we will do classification and then regression. Then we will try to do anomaly detection, time series, clustering, and association analysis. We will try to cover that most of those different kinds of tasks. But what really needs to be mastered here is classification, regression, and clustering. Then find cross-selling opportunities for retailer base. So these are the different examples, right? So for the process of basics, we have process, data exploration, model evaluation. First and foremost, we will do understand the process, data exploration, and then model evaluation. Then we will try to do different kinds of algorithms. So we have classification, and the algorithms being used in the classification algorithms are the decision trees, rules induction, k nearest neighbors, naive Bayes or the Bayesian, artificial neural networks or neural nets, SVM or support vector machines, and then there are ensembled learners or ad hoc algorithms. Then also for regression, we have linear regression and logistic regression. For association analysis, a priori or a priori. Then FP growth. For clustering, we have the k-means, the most popular k-means, DBS scan, and then self-organizing maps. Much more advanced clustering algorithm. So the common applications are text mining, time series forecasting, anomaly detection, and then feature selection. So that is the first part of our introduction to data science. Now, before we move on to the next slide, we will have another break, short break. But while having a short break, while having a short break, you will see on your Lions LMS, I have added there an item called outcome expectations. Kindly put a comment there. Here, you can put comment here. your outcome expectation after understanding the concept of data science. I just want to hear your own discussion regarding your own understanding afterwards, our discussion of data science. Kindly post your comment here. It can be just one paragraph for your outcome expectation. Okay, so while doing that, we will have a 10-minute break. Hi, welcome back again. All right, so we're done with the lecture part, and we're now going to proceed with a more technical part of our course, which is programming in Python. But first, before we dive deeper or we dive into data analysis with regards to Python in science, let us try to embrace the basics first. So here on our Lions LMS, let's go back again here. The Python slide for today. We will try to discuss this one. A very, very fast discussion regarding the Python basics. Okay. So introduction to Python programming with Python, of course. So Python can be downloaded first in your computer, or sometimes Python is already installed in your computer. But don't worry, Python can be accessed online without Python being installed on your machine. There is a chat. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Sorry, I have not activated my microphone. Sorry for that. Okay. So if you don't have Python on your computer for the meantime, because this is the first meeting we have, don't worry, we will be having Python online. So you can program Python online or locally on your computer. All right. So Python programming basics. So code or source code, the sequence of instructions in a program. So this is the concept, the jargon that we need to embrace when we're trying to do programming with Python. There is what we call code and there is what we call source code. So they are the same thing. If I say the code, where's your code? Where is your source code? It's basically the program. And I'm pertaining that where is your program? Probably will be asking you, where's your source code? Can I look at into your source code? Something like that. So syntax is the grammar of your program. So there are illegal and there are legal syntaxes. So when your syntax is illegal, it will produce an error. Of course, there will also be output and there is a console. I don't know, you can test your computer, let's say on your computer right now, if you have Python, or you don't know if Python is installed in your computer, you can simply just write there Python. In Mac operating systems or Apple operating systems, you already have your Python installed. For Windows, probably you're going to manually install that on your computer. So if you're going to try to test if your computer has Python, just invoke your CMD and then type there Python. Can you see my screen, what I'm doing?
No, sir.
No? What are you seeing right now?
Yung PowerPoint ko na PDF.
Okay, so I'm going to share my whole screen siguro. Ayan. Can you see now the prompt?
Yes,
The
sir.
command prompt? So you can actually do that or try to test that. So you just click Windows on your keyboard and then type there CMD and then enter. Of course, we're going to access the CMD and then try to test if you have Python on your computer. Just write there Python. This happens if you have installed Python on your computer. But most of the cases, when you buy a computer nowadays, Python is already installed in the computer system. So just try it. If it runs, everything's good. You already have Python. If not, don't worry, you can access Python. You can practice Python without Python installed in your machine. But I advise you to install Python because you can basically use Visual Studio Code as your programming IDE for Python. So something like this, the Python version on my computer is 3.10.10. Yeah. So this is related to what we are seeing here as the console. So the console meaning the CMD is the console where we can also program Python. Python is an interpreted programming language. It runs on top of C language. So some people say that Python is slower because it is an interpreted programming language. But what good thing about good things about Python is that there are a lot of programmers. There is a big stack programmers using Python, so there is a big community. Many people will help you if you're stuck. Python is good. Python launcher naman sa akin, same with you, sir. Sa yung iba, pag naka-Mac, I think that's the same thing, Python din. Python lang din yung itatype. Okay. So there is another thing that you can do if you don't have Python in your machine. So let me close that command prompt. Let me show it to you. You can go to a website called Google Colab. So Google Colab is a website where we can practice data science. So before, we are using Jupyter Notebooks. Jupyter Notebooks is also something that you need to install on your computer. It will take you a couple of minutes to install. And I think that's a tedious part on our end since this is not a face-to-face class. In short, we're not going to use Anaconda, but we're going to use the same technology that Anaconda use, which is called notebooks. In Google Colab, it also has notebooks. So when you try to create a notebook in Google Colab, you can actually open that in Visual Studio Code and also in Jupyter Anaconda. So here, as I select from the different options, I will select Colab Notebooks. Okay, I'm going to select Colab Notebooks, and then I'm going to proceed to a selection, a menu, as you can see. Is it okay to use PyCharm? Yeah. One caveat probably is that PyCharm doesn't have a notebooks. Does PyCharm have notebooks? Kasi ako hindi ako gumagamit ng PyCharm na ginagamit ko na is Google Colab or Jupyter or Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we're going to select Is there a new notebook here? Ba't nawala yung new notebook na option? Meron to supposedly. Uh-huh. Wow, may BigQuery na din pala rito. File, new notebook. Mag-new notebook muna ako. No? Mamaya na yan. Mamaya na yan. So let me just show to you the new notebook. So this is a new notebook. Basically, there are nothing inside. So we're going to start from scratch if this is the case. So you can change the name. My first program in Python. So here, the extension file name will become IPYNB or IPython notebook. That's the meaning of IPYNB. One good thing about Google Colab is that whichever email address is logged in on your web browser, it automatically saves whatever codes you have placed here on the Google Colab. So you don't need to worry if your computer suddenly shuts down. But there are some cases that you fail to save your progress if the internet breaks. If the internet breaks, because this is heavily reliant on the internet. So what you need to make a consistent process when you're doing Google Colab is to have your internet always available because it is heavily reliant on the internet. And you don't use your data. But in some cases, you can use your data if your signal is good. So here you can start doing Python already. So what happens here in the Google Colab is there is a cell, and this cell is expressing the first line of your code. You can actually put multiple lines of code in one cell, but when you run the program, you will run it sequentially. Like for instance, the basic syntax of Python is this one, the arithmetic expression. So we can do that in our first program. We can do 3 plus 1. And then we just need to play the button here. And again, because this is heavily reliant on the internet, sometimes it is not fast done when you install a local version of Python in your computer. Okay, let me show you another one so that you have an idea. I have here a Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code, if you are familiar with this one. However, this has a lot of things going on, so I'm going to close all of the tabs. Save. Okay. So here, if I just wanted to create, if you have a Visual Studio Code, for me, this is the most ideal. Right now, I am using a folder from my desktop, and it's called SQL. But don't worry, it doesn't affect. It's just the name of the folder, SQL. It doesn't affect with Python. If your folder is named as SQL, I just don't want it to open a lot of folders. So let me just create a new file. Let's say when I create a new file, I hope you can see this. I hope this is not very small. So my first program. By the way, it doesn't really matter whatever. It doesn't really matter whatever naming convention you're going to use in your program, as long as it does not start with a number. So always remember that the best scenario for your naming convention for your program is to not start with a number. So here I created a file which is the same thing with Google Colab. So the extension from my Visual Studio Code is the same extension as what I am using here in my Google Colab. It's IPYNB. In data science, it's better to use IPYNB or Python notebooks than Python, because Python is for DevOps or MLOps. And for analysis of data, it's best to use notebooks. So same thing, 3 plus 4. And then shift on my keyboard, hold shift on my keyboard, and then enter. It will run the cell. Okay, so I don't have a virtual environment. Why? Hindi ko pa siguro nag-download. Okay, so nagda-download lang muna siya. But yeah, you know the drill. So you can actually use Visual Studio Code. You can use other things as long as you're doing Python. Okay, you can use also CMD. But the problem with CMD is that it doesn't save your progress. So 3 plus 4. So 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4. Yeah. Three plus 4. Okay. Yeah. Does everybody doing good? Can you follow? Nakakasunod po ba lahat?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your hand or press 1 if we are on the same page? Okay, good to see those numbers. Good.
Sir, I have a question. Sorry, Jacqueline here.
Sure.
Can I use the IDLB?
You can use what?
IDLB.
Yeah, sure. Ideally, I also have that here in my computer, if I'm not mistaken. IDLE. Sure, you can use that. Whenever you install Python on your computer, you already also have IDLE. So 3 plus 4. Yeah. Though there are some limitations with regards to IDLE. probably auto correction or autocomplete, something like that. I'm not anymore using IDLE, but if you want, excuse me, if you want to use IDLE, sure, why not? So as you can see, I can also use IDLE in my computer. Yeah. But for me, for portability, and I don't want to anymore think if my progress is not going to be lost, I'm going to stick with Google Colab, because as you can see here, when I use another cell, it's saving my progress. And where will this program be saved? In my Google Drive, so I can get back to it later. That's one good thing about Google Colab. It's automatically saving your progress. However, the caveat is you need to be having every time you need to be connected in the internet, or else there will be no automatic progress to be saved. So walang masasave pag walang internet. Kailangan ng internet. Yun lang yung ano niya, problema sa kanya. Okay? So here we can use print me, something like that, kasi ganun si Python. Hindi siya katulad ng ibang programming language na hindi straight to the point. Parang straight to the point si Python. If that's why this is the favorite programming language of data scientists, because data scientists are not heavy programmers. They wanted to see the outcome right away. As you can see, this simple printing, it takes a lot of code if you're going to code this one in C structure. So we can actually use print something like this. Hello world. Yeah. So the outcome is right below the code or the cell in Google Colab. You can actually document as well yung ginagawa mo dito. So, kunyari this one, this is my first cell in notebooks. You can basically document what is happening right below of your documentation. That's what also one of the good points of using Google Colab. You can basically document. Yeah. So this is basic arithmetic. You can also use division. Right. Let's say 20 divided by 5. One caveat din also, kapag patuloy-tuloy yung ginagawa ninyong computation sa cell, yung last lang yung mapiprint na value. Pero kung gagawin ninyo, ipiprint nyo siya ng paganyan. Print. Tapos print. Dalawa yung outcome na makikita natin. It's 4 and 4.0. So automatically, when you divide a whole number, it becomes a number with decimal place. Or in computer science or IT terms, this is going to result into a floats. Well, basically what I'm doing here is a comment or a documentation of the code. So 3 plus 1.
Sir, ibig sabihin po ba ng number sign, ano yun? Parang you're doing comment? Okay, thank you po.
It's a one-liner comment. So whatever is after the what do you call this hashtag, the number sign, it's going to be a comment. That's the comment symbol in Python. Yeah. So if you put let's say you have a code that you don't want to erase. Let's say print your name. You have a code that you don't want to erase but you don't want it to be printed. Ayaw mo siyang i-print pero gusto mo siya nandyan lang siya. So i-comment mo lang siyang ganyan. So hindi na siya lalabas. So useful siya minsan pag nagte-test kayo ng code. Ginagamit ko siya para minsan I don't want, especially sometimes I have a large set of code and then I don't want to just erase it because maybe the reason is I wanted to get back on it if things going to turn sideways of my code. So I still have something to get back to. So ayun, ginagawa ko na lang sa kanya, kino-comment ko na lang. Ayan. So that's comment, by the way. In C, it's double slash. It doesn't work the same with Python. So double slash has different meaning here in Python. So we don't use double slash. So that's just for C language. Here in Python language, we use the number sign. Okay. Let's say the other use case of the comment is the author of the program. So you don't want this to mess up with your program because there's no syntax which regards to author colon Brandadis. So it will cause an error. So in order for you not to cause anything bad with your code, start with a comment if you wanted to document it. All right. Next is the expressions. Expressions are it can be the arithmetic expressions is 1 plus minus multiply and division. And then we also have modulo. Modulo is also known as the remainder. And then we have dual star, that's the exponentiation. Ibig sabihin, we can create something like 2 raised to 2. So that's 4. 2 raised to 3. So that's the use case of double star or dual star. Precedence. Precedence is like this operations comes first before the other operation. So the highest precedence is the double star. If you have a long formula, a long arithmetic expression, the star, division, or multiplication division, modulo, and double or dual star will run from left to right. Then, if the compiler sees plus and minus, what will happen is it will prioritize the higher precedence. So it will prioritize the multiplication, division, modulo, and double star before doing the process of plus and minus. So if your program has plus or minus, it will go from left to right. So this precedence is actually mimicking the process of MDAS in mathematics. But this is not MDAS. This is expressing what or how MDAS is doing in our calculations. Okay, do you got that? Do you get that? Kasi marami ang nagsasabi pag dinidiscuss nila yung precedence, ay MDAS lang yan. It's not like that. Kasi magkakamali ka kung iniisip mo yung computer na iintindihan niya yung MDAS. Hindi. Hindi naiintindihan ng computer ang MDAS. Ang ginagawa niya is left to right. Ang mga magkakaparehas ng precedence, niraran niya yan from left to right. Nagmumukha lang siyang MDAS kasi pinaprioritize niya yung higher precedence than the lower precedence. Mas mababa ang precedence ng plus and minus. So, hindi niya kukomputin yung plus. Uunahin niya yung multiplication. Katulad nito, 1 plus 3 multiply by 4. So, uunahin niya yung higher precedence, yung multiplication operation. So, 3 multiply by 4. Then, ihuhuli niya yung plus. Ngayon, pag meron ka namang formula na times tsaka division, pinagsabay mo sa iisang formula, kailangan nauuna yung multiplication sa formula mo. Or else, gagawin niya yung left to right. Magbabago na siya. So, ang ginagawa namin para ma-enforce talaga yung gusto naming mangyaring computation is nilalagyan namin ng parentheses. We are implementing parenthesis principles to specifically apply the operation that we want. Ayan. So, division of integer. Okay. So this is how it happens. Okay, don't need to express that, explain that more. Okay, these are real numbers. Real numbers have decimal places. Okay, and real numbers have sign. Meron siyang positive sign at saka negative sign. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng real numbers. Tapos meron siyang ganito, no, yung E. Yung usually matataas na exponents, meron ng E, no? So, scientific calculator. Kasi, sa scientific calculator, kailangan, di ba, very, very close to the precise value. No? Kaya, kailangan natin ng ganitong klase. So, those are the real numbers. So, there are, what else? So there are mathematical commands in Python. We have absolute value. We have ceil or rounds up in the ceiling value. We have cos, cosine. We have floor, rounds down. Log, logarithm base. Log of 10, logarithm base 10. Max value. So it gets the max value from the argument value 1. And then the argument value 2. It gets the minimum value of the argument value 1 and then the argument value 2, meaning it only gets 2 arguments. It has round value. We have sin or sine, square root value for E, for pi. So let's try that though. Let me have another code here. If you press E. Is that defined? So I need to import this one so it understands. Okay, let me have that. Before I do the E, I need to import math. To explicitly import math. Okay. I need to explicitly import math. Sometimes kasi You don't need to do that. It's already imported automatically. But in this case, explicitly, I need to import math to perform the math functions like E, like pi. And if you will notice, if hindi mo siya nilalagyan ng print, ganito, ang nangyayari dyan is that ang piniprint niya lang yung latest. Ayan. Piniprint niya lang yung latest. Pero pag nilagyan mo ng print, ipiprint niya lahat. So yun lang yung differences. Kasi baka tinatamad kayong ilagay yung print. Ang ibig sabihin lang ng hindi paglalagay ng print, yung last outcome, yun lang yung ipapakita niya. So the other things are going to be hidden. So you need to explicitly write their print. So mga basic mathematics pa lang tayo, no? Kasi I don't want you to... Pwede ninyo itong i-try on your own time, kasi we will lose a lot of time if I'm going to demo everything one by one. So dadaanan ko lang siya. But on your own, you can review this one. But one good thing about this one, it's good to know that there are math functions here, but it doesn't really, these are not always being used. It's just that it's good to know that you have predefined mathematic functions here on Python. So there are numbers or real numbers that are in having a data type of floating point. So when you do typecasting, this is how you do typecasting in Python. So you place int and then you enclose that variable. If that variable has a whole number or a float number, it will become a whole number or integer. If it is a whole number and then you enclose it with this kind of notation, float, it converts it to a floating point. Okay. So as you can see, the examples on the right side. So now variables, the concept of variables. Did you know that letters are the thing that we can actually use to store values? So in different programming languages, variables are always present. These variables are called variables because this can change. The semantic of the variable will change depending on the context it is being used, but it's not automatically like that. If you change in some programming languages, like for example, Java or in C, the variables are not immutable. Unlike in Python, variables are immutable. So let's say our variable is X. We don't know yet what we want to use with X. Is it a number? Is it a real number? Is it a word? Is it a character? We don't know yet. So in order for us to put value or to put context in our variable, we need to place a literal value. So a literal value can be a string, a character, or a number. So let's say a number 10. Now, we can say that this variable is going to be an integer. Okay. Sa mga nakaprogram na, katulad ko, programmer ako ng C tsaka Java, I find it amusing kasi it will take me a lot of hard-coded symbols before I reach this part. But in Python, it's just simply x equals 10 and x will become an integer. So let's run the cell. So as you can see, it doesn't explicitly printed the value of x. But for me to show the value of x, I just need to write there print x for me to show the value that is stored inside the variable of x. So again, what is the variable? It's x. For me to show the variable, we need to place print x. Okay, so what if I change this one into a string? Like hello world. Hello world is a cliche string in the programming world. Okay, so hello world. Now, the variable becomes a string variable. That's why in Python, it's very convenient, but very confusing practice that you take down notes of your variable. And then if you don't want to take down notes with your variables, with their data types, because they are easily mutable, you can right away document the variable so that you don't forget. So let's say word. So you will not going to use this variable to a number because this is a word. Okay. Then this is what you call documenting your variable as it is. Okay. So it's not a good practice to put your variable as, let's say, X, Y, X, Y, Z, W. That's not a good practice because it doesn't provide context. Yan. Kasi pwede kang mag-create ng variable na ganito. Underscore 1 underscore equals 20. Pwede yan. Print underscore 1 underscore. Ayan o. Pwede yan eh. But who's going to do that? You're going to confuse your readers, di ba? Hindi mo gagawin yan sa totoong buhay. So, hindi yan advisable. May mga pwedeng gumawa niyan sa Python. Kasi string ang underscore. Ayan, ganyan. Underscore equals 30. 300. Ay, ba't lumalabas to? 30. Underscore. Katap niya, hindi na maintindihan ngayon ng compiler kung ilang underscore ba yun. So gagawin mo pa, kukopyahin mo pang ganun. Diba? So this is not a good practice. Not a good practice when it comes to naming your variables. So if you're going to use a variable, make sure that the name of your variable is the same of its usage. Okay. Are we good? Are you still good? By the way, it's already 11:56.
Okay naman.
Meron bang nagugutom dyan? 11:56.
Nagtitinapay na ako dito.
Okay lang ba
Okay
sa
pa
inyo
po.
ituloy? Ituloy ko to o magkaroon tayo ng 15 minutes break? Kasi last nating break is 15 minutes.
Okay lang po na tuloy.
Okay lang na ituloy natin. Sige. Sige. Siguro kung habang nakikinig kayo, kumakain kayo, okay lang. Ako kahit hindi kumain, okay lang naman. Yan. So, let's move forward. I hope you're still there with me. So you can do this one later, exercise the evaluate quadratic equation given. Yeah, you can later exercise that because ang importante, maintindihan muna natin siya ngayon bago natin. Yan. So yun, ginawa na natin to kanina, x equals 7, x is 7, x 7. Then x becomes a string. Immutable siya. By the way, you can check the variable of you can check the data type of the variable. So let's say etong word, hindi mo alam ngayon kung ano siya. Pwede mong i-check yung ano niya, type niya. So yung type niya, ibabato niya ngayon sa iyo kung ano yung type niya. So it is a string. A string is usually denoted with open and close quotation. So sometimes ganun, minsan ang dami ninyo nako-code tapos nagkakaroon ng error yung program ninyo, you can simply check baka nagkamali lang sa data type. So the data type is integer. Okay. So yung print, sa other versions ng Python, ganito yung print, lalo na yung mga 2.0 below. Wala siyang open and close parenthesis. Yung mga new versions ng Python, yung print natin, kailangan na siya ng open and close parenthesis. Hindi na nagwo-work yung walang open and close parenthesis, something like this. I think this will not work anymore because this is, oh yeah, so di na siya nagwo-work ngayon kasi 2.0 version to. Kasi ngayon ang Python 3.0 na siya. So sa 3.0, kailangan mo na lagyan ng parenthesis. Ayan. So this is an example print statement. Then the input. Okay, so the input is a very interesting code for Python. So yung input is a function. It's a predefined function where you place, let's say, please input your name. Then you put a variable here on this side. Then you can print actually the value of the name. So okay, so you inputted the value of the name. Let me just rerun that. Okay, so you inputted the name, it is printed there, and then you have another outcome. I'm going to be very fast with the Python part because Python part yeah, because this is not really data science yet. This is just reviewing what Python is. Wala pa tayo sa data science. Okay, let me just skip that one. Repetition or loops or selection if else. So let's start first with if statements. I believe in Excel there is also if statement. So conventional yan sa mga programmer, yung if statements na yan. Yan yung pinaka-basic kasi if is the keyword that should always start with the word if, and then the first variable or the condition is denoted by a relational operator. Relational operator. So this can be considered, let's say, is 10 less than 1, or is 10 greater than 11? 9. Okay. And then colon, enter. So we will just print the value of true. Okay. Then else print false. So indentation is important in this case. So let's demystify this one. We have the keywords. The keywords is colored pink or violet. So if condition, so this is the condition, a simple condition with a relational operator less than. So we have 10 is 10 less than 9. This is checking if the condition is true or not true. So if we're going to analyze this, 10 is not less than 9. So it's going to print false. But if we're going to change the relational operator to 10 greater than 9, of course that's true. It will print true. So basically, the first part is true, then the else part is the one that makes it false. If the condition is not met, it becomes false. So else answers will become false. Yeah,
Hello po, question.
sure.
Sorry, nag-try kasi ako tapos ginawa ko lang yung equal. Equal lang siya, pero nag-error siya. So, hindi pwede
Equal?
yung equal.
This one, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a assignment operator. If you're using a relational operator, it should be double equal.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So double equal means is equal. So that's the difference between assignment operator. Assignment operator is denoted by one equal, meaning you're going to assign a value to a variable. That's one equal. If you're going to use a relational operator, which is comparing, if they are both equal, it should be double equals. Yeah, so that's how you do it. So this is read as 10 is equal to 9 is equal, one word, Pag ganito naman siya, ah, variable b equals 2. So ang basa sa kanya is 2 is assigned to variable b. Pag binasa siya ganyan. 2 is assigned to variable b. Yung b, pag binasa natin siya, b equals 2. Pero sa programmer side, ang basa sa kanya, 2 is assigned to variable b.
How about po pag to operator, yung equal or greater than or equal to, something like that? Hindi siya possible din.
Ano siya, you mean you are having two conditions?
Yes po.
Okay, so if you're going to have two conditions, you're going to incorporate the logical operators. Saan na ba yan dito? That's possible. You're just going to use logical operators. Ito, this one, the and or and the not. So if you're going to use the logical operators, let's say this is the scenario. If 95 greater than, ano bang magandang unahin? 100 greater, let's say we have a value of grade. The grade is 90. So if grade greater than equal to 85 and grade is less than 90, less than equal, para masama yung value na 90. So we print average. Lagay ko siya sa isang cell para hindi siya humahalo dito. Uy, wala. Copy. Paste. Yan. Else, mas mababa pa siguro po. Of course, kung gusto mong mas mataas, maglalagay ka lang ng isa pang if. So, usually, nilalagay namin dito is elif. Else if, elif. Elif. Something like that. Okay. So ito, this needs to have this condition to be true and this condition to be true in order for it to print excellent. So basically this is programming a between. between scenario. So from the numbers between 91 up to 100, you're going to print excellent. While from 85 until 90, you will just print average and else is poor. So when I make it 97, it becomes excellent. Okay, is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So what if you still wanted to have more? If you wanted to be greedy, like you wanted to have another condition, it's okay. Practically, it's okay. You have a lot of ends there. But make sure that all of these things are happening or all of these things are actually true. Because one condition that is false in the logical operator and will become false. So this is engineering concept. No? Yung logical operator na yan. Kaya ang ginagamit ng iba minsan is or. Kaso kasi ang or kasi loose yan, loose logic. Loose logic ang or. Kasi it's either of the two. Parang ganun ang mangyayari dyan. It's either of the two conditions. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng or. Unlike and, ang and gusto niya mangyari, it should be both true for it to become true. Parang ganon. So, yung or, it can only be one. But it will become false if there are no candidates. If the condition, there are no candidates that are true, it will become false. So that's why I'm always using and depending on the scenario.
Sir, pag
But-
nag-add ba ng ng end, 'di ba end dito siya? And then sabi niyo po pwede pang mag-add ng additional end dito sa dulo.
Yes,
So,
pwede pa.
Paano kung or naman yung ilalagay niyo dito? Okay lang 'yun.
Yes.
Okay.
Ang magiging meaning nun is parang ganito. Parang ganon. So this should be both true. It equates that if these two conditions are true, ang mangyayari is magiging siyang true. Ngayon, magiging siyang false kung yari hindi siya pasok dito. Pero pag may or ka, ang mangyayari kung makukuha mo yung condition ng or na true, manenegate tong and mo dito. Kasi nilagyan mo ng or eh. Nakuha mo ba yan?
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Pagka hinahalo mo yung or sa and, manenegate mo yung essence ng and. Kasi ang ibig mong sabihin doon, yung mga and, sila lang yung mga magkakaintindihan. Tapos pag nag-or ka, siya yung magbe-break ng condition. Kasi or siya eh. Kahit ano lang siya eh. It will change the whole context of the conditions pag may sinama kang or. But that's possible. That's possible. But it will result to a logical error. So be careful. You really need to understand it before you do it. No?
And you mentioned earlier, sir, na left to right po yung reading, di ba? So pag you'll do an open and close parenthesis. So yun muna yung unang babasahin niya. And then you can use or, and then that's the time that it's going to read another query. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm thinking of that scenario eh. Where can you do it, by the way? It might complicate things in a way. So, yun lang naman yung parang warning ko. Be cautious of that. kind of logic. Kasi baka along the way, ma-confuse mo lang rin yung sarili mo. Na paghahaluin mo yung and tsaka yung or. Possible kasi siya eh. Possible siya. The moral lesson of the coding principles is that make your codes as specific as possible. Okay. Don't try to make it in a way complex. Don't make it complex. So you won't, maybe at the end of the day, when you go back to your code after a few weeks of vacation, it's really hard to reread your work because of that complexity. Yeah.
Agree. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Ganun. Parang tulong na rin sa iyo yun kasi ganun naman tayo mga tao eh. Minsan nagpapahinga tayo ng matagal. We wanted to rest from coding. Ayun, so baka malito ka pag binalikan mo siya. Ano ka ulit. So make it much more specific as possible. So just review the slides. If you ever you forgot what we have talked about this, you can rewatch the video later. I will upload and then you can review the slides. Can you write the code as 91 less than equal to grade less than equal to 100? Okay. Let me try that. Let me just copy it. Someone is asking if this is valid though. So it's 97. Tama ba? Sorry. Tanggalin. Ba yung sinulat niya dito? This is not, I think, teka lang, 91, then grade. Let's try. Yeah. So what I can read about this one is that 91 is the given condition to be matched with this one, which is grade is 97. Then if 97 is less than 100. Okay. So the first condition might be, what will happen here if I put 80 or probably 90? So 90 is not less than 91, but it is less than 100. Yeah, interesting set of code, right? Yeah. This is the first time I look at this one. Yeah, interesting. Because maybe you have encountered this on LeetCode or some other programming solutions. Although for beginners, it might seem daunting. Yeah. As to SAS, okay. it might sound daunting to others kasi progressive yung style niya. No? Nagkaroon ka ng dalawang boundary from 91 to 100. When I look at the compiler perspective, 91 is a literal value compared to a variable 90 to a variable. So ang nagbabago yung gitna. Then nagsishare yung dalawang parse niya. Pag pinaparse na siya, nagsishare sa isang variable. So etong part na to, nagsishare siya dito sa grade ng ganitong sense. And ito, pinaparse niya rin siya ng ganitong sense. So this is the first time that I saw this one implemented something like this. So siguro this is like a syntactic sugar from other programming perspectives. But it works good. It works fine.
Sir, di ba po ba dapat grade muna tapos equal? Or sorry, less than, and then you place grade so that it will become excellent. Because here in else if grade greater than or equal to 85. Pero
No,
dito
not
sa
necessarily.
po. Because
Hindi naman siya ganun.
okay. 'Cause
Hindi naman siya ganun. Ano bang na-experience mo? Kasi ano siya
I got the excellent po. I'll just snip it and then place it in the comment.
Sige, sige. Baka hindi mo na-change tong ano.
Na-change ko po, sir. So I place it in the comment box. Dun po kasi sa sample niyo walang grade sa umpisa. If tapos 91, tas grade ulit. So dito po sa ako, meron muna siyang grade.
Grade is 90 less than 91. Nag-false. Hindi. Nag-false. Tapos
Nasa gitna po kasi yung grade ninyo. Kasi di ba dapat sabi niyo po between siya. Yung using ng end. So dito po sa if, sa una. Kaya siya nag-average. Yan po. Thank you.
Ito yung una ko, right? Great.
Yes po. And then you just simply use the, change lang po dito yung
Less
yes,
greater than sa akin, greater than. Kasi kaya ako ginamit na greater than to. Ang nasa isip ko is I wanted to check the between value. So pag wala siya sa range ng 91 at saka 100, basically iba siya. Yeah, yun. Kasi yung condition mo is less than. Ito, dito ka nagkaroon ng ano. So dito. If you will try to analyze this one. Yung 97 is 97. 97 is not less than 91. So the first condition you add should be ano ba nilagay ko doon kanina? 90? 90 ba yung nakalagay sa'yo? 90. No, magtutrue yun kasi 90 yung nakalagay sa'yo. Which is 90 is less than 91. So it should be ganito. Yeah. Parang ganito siya, ganyan. Yeah. Siguro na ano ka lang dun sa condition na ganun. Siguro ang gumana na lang sa akin dito is my memory. Because for most of the time, this is my go-to example with regards to multiple conditions. So ang gumana sa akin dito is the memory. Usually, if I wanted to have a scale from 91 to 100, I use greater than to filter out the first boundary, and then less than for the last boundary or the latter part. Ayun. So for 97, it's excellent. Then for it's 90, it's not anymore on that range. Now it's become average because it's on the range of 85 to 90. Now, if I'll be using 89, still on the range.
Try kapag 90.5.
90.5. Interesting. This is actually a float, right? Let's try. So because this is a float, and what we are comparing is an integer, it is not recognized that way. This is a, yeah.
Ma-recognition kapag ginawa mong yung first condition na greater than 90.
First
Instead
condition
na,
greater than
yeah.
90.
Tapos, wag yung greater than equal. Kasi may missing gap ka between 90 at 91 eh.
I got it. Yung missing gap na yan. Yeah.
Hindi siya na ano.
Yung point something.
Mm.
I see.
Kapag may mga
That's
decimal point, mag-i-issue yung sa ano.
That's an interesting okay, I like that. That's an interesting point. What happened there is that we are focusing only on, in this scenario, this is good if we are focusing only on whole numbers. But if we're trying to have a decimal place, we really need to parang slim down to this one. If I use 1 here, I'm assuming that we're not accepting any floating point. But if I'm going to assume that we still need to do floating point, we need to slim it down to the level that we have no gap. Yeah, I like the suggestion of Michael. Yeah, that's good. And end. Between end. Ano ba to? Question mark. Between. Between.
Yung ano ata sir, single apostrophe tsaka
Single apostrophe. Sometimes it doesn't work. Parang wala naman. Pero dapat consistent ka lang. We can see the difference siguro kung I put something like this. B equals 1. Tapos C equals 1 then. Then when I type B, and then when I type C, then I just print it out. We will see the difference when it comes to the time. Basically, they're the same. Yeah. Yeah, they're the same string. That's how you wala siyang difference. No? May mga times, I don't know, may mga compiler lang siguro na gusto niya i-enforce yung double quote. But basically, they are the same string. Actually, ang pinaka ko sa inyo is, ang pinaka dito, concern ko sa inyo is nag-i-information overload na ba tayo? Kasi mabilis ba? O hindi naman. Kasi 'di ba sinabi niyo kanina sa akin, wala talaga kayong sa programming background. Okay lang ba? Now, may mga terms lang po na di magets. Kaya naman. I think so siya. Kaya naman. Ganito, no? Since natapos natin yung mga basic parts, di ba meron tayong Python basics, this one? I would like you to answer this part only. Your turn. Try natin to, no? Just to assess. I mean, just to assess. Ang maganda dito, class, is that yung gagawin ninyo as a beginner, you can just simply copy the code and then edit it as your solution dito. Ganito lang yung gagawin ninyo dyan, class. Pag beginner kayo sa code, it's okay to copy and paste. And then, try to modify the code. Ganon. Ganon ang gawin ninyo, ha? I don't want you to type it. I want you to copy, paste, and modify it. Ganon. Ganon yung gagawin ninyong solution dito. No? So, yeah, I understand nga kasi na talagang alas 12 na eh. Iba sa inyo siguro kumakalam na yun dyan. As your assignment, I want you to answer this one while taking a short break siguro. Yeah. Ito, try to answer this part. Yung write a program that asks for a number, computes the square of a number. By the way, how you would compute the square of a number is doing the double star. If you want to compute for the square of a number, you will just use the double star and then multiply it by 2. Something like that.
Sir, may question po ako, pero not on,
Sige.
ang tawag dito?
Sige.
Not on collab note.
Okay, sure.
Kasi I've been trying to use VS Code for this kanina.
Yeah, sure.
Pag ano kasi kapag rinaran mo siya dun sa terminal, sama-sama kasi siya, unlike notebook na
Yes.
para siyang nakahiwalay siya by part. How would you parang yung paghiwa-hiwalay na ganyan? Kasi sa akin isang buong block lang siya.
Hello? Sino nagtatanong pala? Sino nagtatanong?
It's me, Christian
Anong
po.
name? Christian. Ganito, Christian. Ang gagawin mo kapag magke-create ka ng file sa VS Code, isa-save mo siya. Ang extension file niya is IPYNB.
IPYNB.
Yes.
Okay.
Parang magiging siyang Google Colab din. Although, kung bagong scenario yan sa VS Code mo, mag-install yan ng mga extensions. But that's going to take you a couple of minutes lang naman.
Okay.
So yung markdown, yun yung text. Yung code, katulad dito, can you see my screen by the way?
Yes po.
Yan, so ito yung itsura niya kapag sa VS Code mo siya ginagawa. So you can actually drag this one as well. Tapos kunyari yung markdown mo, this is the first part of my code. So this is just for documentation purposes. Then ito na yung code mo. So ganun din yung action niya. So iraran mo lang rin siya ng ganyan. Then pag ito naman, 2 plus 1, iraran mo lang din siya. So para lang siyang Google Colab. Then, ang maganda nito, transferable siya sa Google Colab. So you only need to do here is to download this, or ito na mismo, i-locate mo lang to sa computer mo and then upload it on Google Colab. It will run perfectly fine there. The same, same din siya. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank
Did I
you.
answer it?
Yes, sir. Nagagawa ko na po siya. Thank you po.
Okay, sure. No problem. Bakit tayo nagbe-basics ng Python? Kasi sa totoo lang, class, medyo pag sinabi kong Python, ang gagamitin nating tool, medium na siya, medium level data science. Ang tunay na pang elementary data science class is RapidMiner or Weka. So, yan, medium siya, no? Don't worry, I will not bombard you with a lot of codes. Simpleng codes lang talaga to. But ayoko lang naman kasi na hindi nyo naiintindihan yung tinatype yung code. Yan. So, yun lang naman. So, you really need to get back on Python first before we dig deeper with data science. Kasi sa totoo lang, konti lang naman yung codes natin at paulit-ulit lang naman yung codes na gagamitin natin sa data science. Kaya I think siguro sa ika-fifth meeting natin, sanay na kayo. Hindi naman tayo magpo-program doon ng sobrang complex programs. Siguro yung 30 minutes na lang na to, let's try to focus on doubt sessions or question and answer na lang muna tayo dito, no? Since we still have 15 minutes, we can have an early dismiss of around before 1. May 15 minutes break pa talaga tayo kasi ang na-consume lang natin is 15 minutes break kanina. And totally, we just have 30 minutes for the 4 hours of lecture. We still have 15 minutes. By the way, itong ano natin, pwede nyo itong practicein asynchronously. Itong Google Colab Python 1 Basics, pwede nyo itong practicing asynchronously para at least ma-review nyo lang yung Python. But I assure to you, yung Python na gagamitin natin dito is paulit-ulit. It's going to be repetitive. So, more or less, what you're going to do here is copy and pasting at the moment. You don't really need to memorize the code. You just need to understand what's happening in the code. Ang makaka-memorize lang ng code is yung ginagawa to araw-araw. No? Sila lang yung makaka-memorize ng Python code. Pero kung hindi nyo to ginagawa araw-araw, you have a different work sa trabaho ninyo. Slow siya, slow yung progress. Kasabi ko nga sa inyo, pinapractice to dapat araw-araw. Ang Python is like mathematics. This should be practiced 1 hour, 2 hours a day apart from your work. Kasi in my own experience, before I'm not really good at programming, ang ginawa ko lang naman is I practice programming 1 hour a day. Just code. Just getting my hands dirty with the code. Just 1 hour a day, then I stop. I do different things na pagkatapos ng 1 hour a day. That's a good habit. Everything that you do, even Power BI, even Excel, just 1 hour a day, and then summate or accumulate the experiences of 1 hour a day in a year. I assure to you, you will become an expert. But it all starts with 1 hour practice a day. If you don't practice this after, or you don't explore this one later on your own time, your progress will be slow. That's a fact, by the way. So actually, data science skills should be practiced to be learned. Okay, I hope I have given you principles. I hope you are motivated with that principles that I just said to you. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yan. So
Yes po.
practice, by the way. You just need to practice it 1 hour a day for me. And then it will become natural Just like what I'm doing. When I do the code, it's becoming natural because I practiced way back. I practice 1 hour a day. I'm more ano ba pwede kong sabihin, more immersed. When I combine all of those 1 hour a day, it becomes years of experience. But if you will put that 1 hour a day in your mind as an easy task, that's going to be doable. Just like practicing a guitar, 'di ba? Yung guitar, mahirap naman yun, 'di ba, aralin kasi sasakit ang kamay mo, magkakakalyo ka. But you are interested to do guitar lessons 1 hour a day because you're happy doing it, right? So if you know the value of learning Python, this is like delayed gratification. Knowing Python might be a hard task today, but once you are comfortable with Python, I assure to you, you will be ahead of those people na it helped me a lot when finding a job. When I say I know Python, they already put me on top of their list of candidates when I apply for a job because I know Python. And at the end of the day, 'di ba? Ako nagagamit ko siya sa work ko ngayon sa data analysis. I use Python to web scrape different websites. In turn, this provides value to my company. Parang nangyayari is nalalaman nila ngayon yung presyo ng mga produkto ng ibang company because of my scraping. Na-scrape ko yung data ng ibang company tas nilalagay ko sa database nila. So yung may isang data engineer doon, ang ginagawa ng isang data engineer, ini-SQL niya yung price ng company at saka yung price ng in-scrape ko. Tapos kino-compare niya, pinagbabanda-banda niya yan. Makikita niya ngayon doon kung mas mataas ba yung offer ng company natin o mas mataas yung offer ng company sa kapila. Nalalaman niya doon tuloy kung sino yung mga mahal magbenta at kung yung binibentang price is tapat lang sa market. Yun yung napoprovide na value nung knowledge na meron ako sa Python. Yan. Send ba sa inyo yung code para sa your turn or practice lang? For the meantime, practice lang muna yan, class. It's not, I'm not going to pressure you to submit. But that's prerequisite for the next tasks. One good thing about this Python basics is that the answer to the your turn is actually given at the first parts. Ang gagawin nyo lang dito is i-edit nyo lang yung code para maging fit siya dun sa answer as a solution. So, yeah. Do you have any more questions? We can actually...
Sir, may question po ako.
Okay, sure. By the way pala, meron tayong, bago ka mag-question, sino yung nagko-question?
Bianca po.
Yeah, Bianca, before you throw your question. Meron tayong Slack group. If you have doubts, you can ask me sa Slack. Then I'm happily to respond there. Okay ba yan?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so ano yung question mo, Bianca?
Kasi beginner pa lang po ako dito sa Python and medyo noob po yung question ko. Kasi
Sure, don't worry.
I'm just curious, since we're using Google Colab, what if yung Python na mismo na program yung gamit namin? Paano po yun i-save? Kasi sabi nyo kanina, hindi siya nasa-save through CMD. What if yung Python na mismo na software yung gamit? I mean, paano nyo yun ina-apply and sinesave?
Okay. Kung gagamit ka ng IDLE interpreter kasi siya. Pag gagamit ka ng CMD, interpreter siya. So, kung ipoprogram mo yung Python na gusto mo parang word siya na tinatype mo tapos isa-save mo, control S mo siya, itatype mo siya sa Notepad or Notepad++. Or magke-create ka sa Visual Studio Code. Yan. Nakakuha mo ba? Ang kagandahan lang kasi ng Google Colab, kaya tayo nagpa-practice ng Google Colab, is that maraming resources na naka-format ng Google Colab. So, kadalasan pag data science, naka-format siya sa Google Colab. Yung mga other things outside of the internet. So, ang purpose ko lang kaya ako ginagamit yung Google Colab para madali kayong mag-match, mix and match. For example, kung yari kukuha ko sa internet ng time series analysis, nakasulat siya sa Google Colab or nakasulat siya sa notebook. Pero pwede mo siyang i-Python. Kadalasan, lahat ng codes ng pang data science, naka-code siya sa Google, hindi Google Colab per se, notebook, IPYNB, naka-code siya sa ganun. Kasi, kaya siya kinode ng ganun, dinodocument natin yung process. Whereas, pagka gusto mong gawin siya in a Python straightforward, try din natin yun, siguro mga bandang 7th meeting natin, try natin yung PY, pang MLOps na siya. Type ko dito, MLOps. Kung meron DevOps, meron ding MLOps. Kasi for production purposes na siya. Kaya po siya nilalagay sa Python file, ipuproduce mo na siyang program eh. Tapos na yung experimenting. So sa data science kasi, lalabas dyan minsan ang accuracy mo around 50%, hindi pa maganda yung model mo. So kaya nilalagay ng mga data scientist muna, nakalagay siya sa notebook hanggang sa ma-perfect nila yung final outcome, which is around acceptable range, 90 to 99%, bago nila i-transfer doon sa PY or sa Python code talaga. Siguro it's a matter of na-experience ko na kasing mag-program ng code sa data science. It's sa trabaho, mas magandang nakasulat siya sa Google Colab or sa notebook kasi minsan on the go ako eh. Minsan I wanted to go back on my program anywhere. Kasi ilalagin ko lang yung Google Drive ko, then i-access ko lang yung Python program ko, and then I can program that anywhere. Unlike pag nakasave siya sa drive ko, I need to always get my drive. But that's a different use case. Kung nire-require ka ng company mo na ayaw nilang gumamit ng Google Colab, sure, you can bring your laptop anywhere. Gagamit ka na lang ng VS Code. Just different scenarios. Sa scholarly work kasi sa amin, hindi naman ganun kahigpit. So gumagamit kami ng Google Colab. Pagka tapos na yung experiments namin sa Google Colab, because we wanted to have portability nga naman, tsaka na namin siya tina-transfer sa Python. Sa hindi siya notebook. Ang extension file niya na is PY. So let me just show you what is the difference. No? So if I'm going to create a Python, let's say program1.py, something like this one. So my program will typically start like this. If I'm going to create a variable, something like that, grade 90, then if grade greater than equal to 90, and grade less than equal to 100, then print Print excellent, right. So, copying ko na lang siya. Para mabilis. elif 85. Something like that. Ayan, ano. So, pag niran ko siya na ganyan, iisa lang siya. So, then, I will try to run this one like this. Exit ko muna to. Clear. This one. Ayan, so ito yung output niya, no? Ang magiging workaround process ko kasi dito is that I will keep on running, exiting my terminal. However, this is already saved on my computer. Ayun, ganun yung mangyayari. So, ayoko lang nung hassle na ganun, di ba? Pag nag-experiment ako, rarun ko siya, tapos irarun niya as a whole. Hindi ko makikita yung problema sa gitna. Something like that. Kaya ako nagno-notebook. Mas nakikita ko yung gitna, yung nangyayari sa bawat process. Kaya ako nagno-notebook. Yun lang naman. But it's your choice if you want a straight away Python or a notebook. It's up to you. What matters is you can build a model, whatever process you are doing. Yeah, pwede naman. Yeah. So anything. Ngayon, kunyari, you're practicing it on your own and then you are stuck. You can easily chat me on this Slack. You can easily chat me here in Slack. So this is general. Or pwedeng direct message kung magtatanong kayo ng na-stuck kayo dun sa code. Kung ano yung possible na pwedeng gawin. Yeah. For the meantime, we don't have a graded assignment as of the moment. First meeting pa lang naman eh. Yeah. But I'm very excited kasi I'm excited sa magagawa ninyong outcomes after the meetings. Squared. Or let me just check. If square is 100. Yeah, I think so. Pero natutuwa lang ako sa pagka-create mo ng condition, nauna yung literal values. Usually kasi ako, if you're going to ask me, nauna yung variable ko bago literal values. Anyway, an interesting solution. Ang ibig lang sabihin nito, gusto niya mangyari is that pag sobrang taas sa 100, sasabihin mo big. More probably like that. Sabi niya dito, square is 100 or greater. No? So, I think medyo may sketchy part lang dun sa pagbibuild mo ng logic. In a way, sa scenario na to, it's applicable, but maybe when it's greater, yeah. I like this, yung sagot ni Nico. So he used, in this one, he used an input and then he converted it or he typecasted it in integer, then place it to n. because anything that is using input will become a string eventually. Then number multiplied by itself is squared, by the way. So if the result is greater than 100, number is too big. Yeah, I easily understand that. Then if else if 50 less than if 50 less than equal to number square less than 10, yeah. So that's the range, your range going to be medium. So trinay mong magkaroon ng ng decimal place, I think. Kaya mo inisip na 100 yung last. Okay. And then too small. Okay. Acceptable. I like the logic. Both of you, I like the logic. Na anuhan lang ako dun sa sa nasisimula siya sa siguro I don't know why, but ganun. Ganun yung magkakaintindi mo. I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's almost one, but almost one. Almost one. Mga nag-enjoy yung iba, mga nag-enjoy. Ay, before anything else, there is actually an evaluation, by the way. So I want you to, kindly answer the evaluation. Here, please, before you go out, kindly please answer the evaluation here on session 1. And then I think you may go. So if you have more questions, I'm happily to entertain them on our Slack application. Okay, just message me here, no. Meron naman tong PM parang ganun, private, hindi nakikita ng iba. Yeah. Ang bilis lang nung 1 hour, no?
Parang bitin.
Parang bitin, kahit grabe nga
Yung mga
kayo,
next topic natin, mas maganda discussion.
Yeah. We will start with regression, the simplest form. As we progress along the way.
Bayan doon sa course code, ano ilalagay namin? Doon sa...
Ang course code is DS 2023-352.
Dami kasi yung dito. Okay.
2023. Lagay ko siya sa chat box natin. And what else?
Pwede bang mag-advance kami dito? Yung basahin ibang materials in advance.
Sure. Tsaka pala yung syllabus natin, i-upload ko siya later or probably on Monday para meron kayo advanced reading. No, advanced reading, no. Okay, so I hope everybody had a great time. So it's already 1:02. If you have further question, your assignment is to at least answer the your turn on the Python basics. And that's not required, but hopefully you all try it. Then let's see each other on next Saturday. So we will start to have basic pandas and on that week. No, so you can actually have an advanced reading with regards to Python pandas. Kasi sa totoo lang, everybody, yung totoong data science, nagsisimula na kagad siya sa pandas. But I believe that some of you are here are catching up. No? But I will not really put pressure on the codes. Don't worry. I will assure to you that the codes that I'll be giving you are very easy. No? And then when I see that some of you are advanced, I will give them a different scenario. So don't worry naman, yung mga advanced, makaisip ng mga medyo may advanced, may alam na sa Python. Hala, baka puro basic lang dito. Bigyan ko kayo ng different scenario, don't worry. Because the bottom line is that we will do data science here. No, gagawin natin yung data science. And I can coach you with that because I have done a lot of data science projects from my previous students. Yeah, we have a lot of data science projects. And even some of them publish papers, even some of them develop interesting applications from like this, from our basic discussion of data science. And I'm looking forward as well that you will have the same outcome as them. Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to turn off the Zoom meeting and I'm going to upload the recorded video later pag natapos na yung pagre-render niya. Thank you very much for attending. Hope to see you again next session until we are developing a real data science project. Okay, next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.